There is a former NFL player, right? And his career, towards the end of the career, he played for a period of time in Seattle with the Legion. He was part of the Legion of Boom. And he has recently discovered that a New Orleans man posed as him in an identity theft scheme for 1.9 million. Excuse me, I thought it was 6. $1.9 million. So, former All Pro safety. Maybe he's not a safety. I don't know why I said that. But Earl Thomas, right? This gentleman pretended to be him and stole money from his bank accounts, cash, NFL checks, and more, right? So, if you aren't familiar with Earl Thomas, he was in the headlines, he and his wife Nina, right? Because they had a pretty volatile relationship. And Nina was arrested because she was accused of breaking into an Airbnb that he and his brother rented and interrupting them having a foursome with some young ladies. And she allegedly held a gun and busted up the place like Diamond and Players Club, right? Um, so it was liquid. Sorry, something weird just happened. So Nina ended up being acquitted, but this happened. It was documented. I think that this was like in 2020, and you know, that's a little salacious, right? So basically, Nina and Earl have separated, contentious, much like their relationship.
They'll be back together.
However, the man, Kevin J. Thompson, who randomly had access to Earl's driver's license, bank accounts, titles to his cars that he transferred to his own account. Guess who his girlfriend is?
Niner.
Nina Thomas.
Niner.
9mm. That's his girlfriend. Now.
Oh, okay. Now it makes sense.
Perhaps.
She strikes again.
Perhaps he is just taking advantage of a woman that is divorced. Perhaps he targeted her. And, you know, that's how this coincidentally happened. However.
Come on.
Again, they had a pretty contentious divorce, right? And lots of accusations back and forth. Money. You know, it always comes down to money, right? And so he is facing identity theft, forgery, money laundering, credit card fraud, computer fraud, as well as bank fraud charges. Okay?
Yeah, so he was doing Niner's dirty work.
I mean, how do you think he got access, right?
Because how else would he get access? Because you have to have somebody who knows all the information, and your wife is that person. And considering that you blazing in guns like you in a Tubi movie in Detroit with guns and the whole nine, girl, we know who the mastermind of this is, Nina.
So
Come
Thompson
on,
allegedly
girl.
used a forged driver's license that had his own photo. Right?
I love it.
And he made a fake bank account and transferred car titles, including a Range Rover.
They always want the Range Rover.
An SUV Rolls Royce range. I don't know why I said Range Rover. I meant Rolls Royce.
A Rolls Royce.
Okay, yeah. And he was driving that the day that he drove to the bank and got arrested. He's also accused of transferring the titles of several vehicles over to himself and then selling them. They say it's unclear on how he got the cars, right? And
he knew where the keys was.
So basically, a credit union in Texas detected suspicious activity in June and notified the authorities that it was not Thompson who opened an account with the bank, right? So Thompson was arrested the second time when he attempted to get a Rolls Royce on June 16th in a different vehicle that also had been reported stolen. He's free on $730,000 bond.
Nina paid it.
I'm saying. Thomas and Nina divorced in 2020, and even after the divorce, they were involved in an incident on Christmas Eve that involved both of them brandishing weapons in a parking lot argument.
You attract who you are, and you end up marrying the same person who you are. It's you guys hold up a mirror to each other.
And
for that moment in time.
listen,
Because now I got divorced and pulling guns. So y'all was the same goons the whole
this was
time.
a few years ago.
Yeah.
This was a few
y'all
years ago.
Y'all both pulling guns. Y'all both crazy.
So
they ain't got no business. Nina ain't
yeah.
got no business, and what's Earl? He ain't got no business either.
They
need something to do on Wednesday nights. That way
they need a hobby
or something. That way their time will be occupied. Because if you're busy, then that means that it's less time for you to sit up and start stuff and pull guns on people.
I mean, it's the wild, wild west out there, right?
It's crazy. The 80s outside.
1.9 million.
See, I watch my bank accounts too close for that to ever happen.
Here's the part 2 to
every
that.
10 minutes.
There's a part 2 to that. Earl is reportedly not doing well. He since he didn't technically retire from the league, but you know, the league sometimes moves on from athletes. So supposedly he is dealing with some issues, some of them financial, and so he probably was in a vulnerable space where maybe paying attention to what was happening with his finances and so forth wasn't a priority. As I said, neither one of them were exactly innocent in their relationship and the things that were happening. But Nina, girl, she hasn't been arrested. She hasn't been charged with anything.
Of course she hasn't.
But do you think the dude, he's only 38,
it's gonna fold on her?
Is he gonna hold it down if she's involved? This is just me kind of looking at the tea leaves. I cannot say for certain.
Mm-mm.
Again, she was not charged with anything.
If y'all in it together, then y'all might as well just stick it out. And because
you think he would do the time and just
I mean, y'all plotting crimes together and pulling guns and being big and bad enough, y'all whatever y'all y'all can have it.
Well, he was not around when she was pulling the guns and all of that.
He got some guns too.
He might, but he was not there. She's had other boyfriends. Like again.
So it's a ring of boyfriends.
Well, not a ring.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, they've been divorced for almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
So, and he's been out of the league for almost as much time, almost the same amount of time.
That's horrible.
So, we'll see what happens.